Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today's topic, we're going to dive into it straight away. And that is basically for SaaS founders. It can be any type of SaaS. It can be a go high level SaaS. It can be a software that you built yourself or got it built from a freelancer, or you already have a SaaS business and you're trying to scale it up. My name is Ayan and I have quite a lot of experience in SaaS, especially B2B in the front end of a company, which we're trying to scale way beyond 1 million ARR. We almost hit that in December 2024. We hit about $82,000 in sales, and then we had a bunch of cancellations in January and February, and we're kind of like off track. There were lessons to be learned. We're going back up again. So I wanted to just make a video sharing what you can do so you don't have to go through this huge churn rate and just lose a bunch of sales, because it's going to affect yourself. Most importantly, you're going to affect your mental health. It's going to affect the employees around you. That is the worst thing, because you want your employees to be motivated all the time, especially your salespeople, marketing team, tech team, all of these people. So some mistakes that I did in the front end of our business. I manage any operation aside from tech. So marketing, sales, account management, customer success. I made a small flow chart so it's easy to understand what we're talking about today. What most people do when they are trying to scale a SaaS business, they just focus on sales, and then it goes down. Sales suddenly just go down, and they're trying to understand why, because they are maybe having a high churn rate, right? And they didn't properly have systems in place in the backend. So it's great, but it's not ideal. There are some things that you need to do in order to prevent this, so you can keep going up and up and up and up. Now, how to not blow up your SaaS? What I haven't considered in this theory is that you're able to sell, right? You have some sort of product market fit. Now, as I said, this can be applicable to go high level SaaS. It can be applicable to any SaaS product you built in any niche yourself. The most ignorant in this case study is that your tech is great and you have good feature delivery, and your tech also listens to customers and all of these type of things, right? Now, we do have issues on this part in our company, but this is just small percentage of like the churn problem, probably like half of the percentage. Now, you cannot always satisfy people with the features, but it can always be worked on. It will always be a part of why the churn is happening. Now, the things you do have control on, especially if you're a founder who doesn't really have tech skills and really focuses on the front end, especially in the beginning. So I've divided different stages of SaaS. There are stages like 0 to 10 customers, 10 to 50 customers, 50 to 200, and 200 plus. Now let's go through them one by one. So if you're at 0 at the moment, you haven't really started your SaaS. Now, what you should be doing, right? In those first few customers, considering that you're able to sell, so you've starting to get some clients. It can be free trials, it can be free access, or it can be very low amounts of money. But you try to prioritize product market fit to really see that the idea is actually valid, and I can scale this up. This is actually a need. People actually use it on a daily basis. My first 10 customers kind of love it, and you have to have really good interactions with them. Maybe you can have WhatsApp groups and stuff like that, right? And just be very transparent with them, because they know you're a small business. Never try to pretend that you're not a small business, doesn't have all of these different team members in your company. You can tell them straightforward that we have a small team, and this is a very big advantage for you, because if you need any features, if you can be fast and agile compared to a big organization where you will request something and it will not be done that fast, right? Feedback, as I said, is very important. You need to do stuff like WhatsApp groups, chatting, texting them. You can have their personal phone numbers and things like this, so it can help you with the feedback. And lastly, stability. So you need to make sure these 10 customers, it's not you're consistently losing these people. Even if it's free, you need to keep them, retain them for a certain amount of time so you can go to the next step. Then when you do start to close more clients and you finally have more than 10 customers, up to 50, I would say, then you need to really focus on onboarding, because at this point, that people are buying your stuff. Onboarding is so important. In our company, in OnCare, if I'm very straightforward, we really didn't do onboarding for many months last year. Pretty much beginning of 2023 till August, September, October, November. I think November or so, we started doing onboardings more seriously. But that really hurt our business. We had so many cancellations throughout the year, but since we were getting enough clients or users on the platform, didn't really see it until, like, didn't really feel the effect of it until January came. And suddenly with New Year, people started seeing it and they're not using the software to start churn and stuff like that. So onboarding is so important. And then you need to have like a person in your company. If you're a small startup, if you're doing this alone, you maybe need to hire a VA, right? Or if you're doing this with your partner or friends, you need to have some sort of like division and work here. And one person really needs to be dedicated to onboard and then also manage these people. It's not just going to be left at onboarding. I mean, obviously, if your product is so simple and your audience is very well educated on the product and they're very tech savvy, then obviously customer success is not really needed that much. But like having WhatsApp groups, one-on-one WhatsApp groups with them, not group chats, one-on-one, so they feel more important, special, and they can text anytime, they can get answers. That is good instead of email and stuff like that. I think it just gets too much on the email. You can use systems like Hiver we use for customer support. Then you can use those type of softwares. But customer success, if your product is decently hard, like for example, you're selling Go High Level SaaS, there's like a shit ton of customers here. Then you need to see in your backend how much is your engagement tracking? Are the reports increasing on your system? How many people are using it on a daily basis? Do they log in every single day? All of these different types of things. Make sure you're checking this. Make sure you're seeing that people are really addicted to the system so that you can scale to the next step. Still, we haven't really focused on marketing here. We're just focusing on sales, we're closing clients, but you're the founder. You should be able to do this. You should be able to close people, but then you need to start putting in systems in place. If you're charging a decent amount of money, so if you have 50 customers and if you're charging a decent amount of money every single month, like for example, with Go High Level SaaS, you can charge a decent amount of money, or you have a special type of product in SaaS, you're charging like $200 to $500 a month or more, then you can start to like hire labor, right? On different types of things. So onboarding can be done like with someone from Upwork. Customer success can be done with them as well. You can hire another one and it will cost you maybe like, $10, $15 an hour for their time, and have decent type of people and train them up, right? And lastly, engagement tracking you can do yourself. So once this is done, you kind of have like proof of concept that there is a product market fit, there is stability, people using it, and then engagement. You're not still focusing on marketing and sales that much. You're closing clients, but you're not like insanely going after it, ignoring onboarding, ignoring customer success. And this is a big mistake. It costs you a lot, but we did this, and I would go back and change this in time if I could. So the next step is where you want to scale. Now you want to get more than 50 customers. You want to reach the 200 customer mark. I think at this point is when your marketing comes in play, like quite a lot. Since you have the product market fit, you have people engaging with the software, then you can have really good marketing because you know exactly what the pain points are. So figure out keywords and specific sentences in your software which you use to sell it on the sales call. So if you're doing your sales call yourself, which I would imagine if you have like 50 clients and you have a relatively inexpensive product, probably doing your sales calls yourself, you need to see what are the phrases and sentences that people really like to hear before they purchase. So for example, with us, it was like ease of use. I'm just giving you an example from our software. So you probably had demos other places. Now you came to us, you're seeing the system. It looks completely different from most of them. It has a completely different UI. It looks very simple. It looks like it has nothing in it, but has everything that you need to run your business. And it just is laid out in a simple way so that a person who is not that tech savvy can also come in and within 2, 3, 4 days get started with it. Not like the complicated systems you saw. And then you can pull up the picture of the system of a competitor, right? These type of things can really help you make ads, make headlines on your ads, really crack down on marketing. And marketing is what's gonna get you to scale really fast. So we can focus on this now. And then now also at this point, you want to start really taking it seriously, the division of labor, right? So we want to implement in our company that these people are responsible for this, these people are responsible for the marketing, sales, the onboarding, the retention, all of these different types of things, and start hiring more. I really think you should reinvest your profits and you should hire people. One thing we did big mistakes on, kept hiring salespeople, kept paying lots of commissions. We still paid those commissions in January, February this year, and it like costed a lot for the company, considering the fact there was churn as well. So having these customer success managers and onboarding specialists, hiring them, making sure this job is perfected, these guys know what they're doing. This is where you can like make sure that they're doing their job properly. You don't have too much to lose here, right? You're still selling it, you still haven't like exploded in the market that much. So this is where you kind of perfect this. You hire, you already kind of like started hiring here, but then you kind of perfect it, right? You want to make sure that these guys can handle volume. And then we're going to go to the last stage, which is 200 plus customers. This is where I'm going to finally start focusing on sales and marketing. Since I already cracked down by marketing, I know exactly what keywords sell. I know what ads I need to make. Now, I just need to focus on different sorts of funnels. So am I going to sell them on a demo funnel? Am I going to sell them on a triage call, whatever, like that type of thing? A course, infra product to a software. A lot of people like to do that. Works pretty well. See, it makes you look like an authority. Or webinars, right? Webinars, again, makes you look like an authority. You can provide value, plus your product is probably inexpensive relatively to infra products, so you can sell more easier than a course on a webinar. Now, these are for 200 plus customers. So obviously sales is very important. You need to start investing in closers, account executives. So people who are going to really be proactive on your leads. You need to start focusing on your CRM a lot, maybe hire people who are managing the CRM. And then this way, you can like scale without any hesitation because you already have the backend really strong. This is so important. This is so important. Like it just pisses me off that if we didn't focus on it in our company and we do it now, which I wish I did before. So, you know, I really want to tell everyone that, hey, don't fall into the trap of sales. You know, fix your backend first. Like a lot of companies, they come in and just sales. All the CEOs, they just want to see the money coming into the bank account. But that is not worth it, especially if you're SaaS, because the whole point of SaaS is to make recurring money. So why not just perfect your recurring part and then you can make the money part later. You can make the sales part. Once sales and marketing is figured out, now you can scale indefinitely. You don't have to figure out anything else in the back end. You just have to make sure tech is working and releasing features. Sales is accountable. So we're closing, our close rate is decent, or the number of book calls are decent. And then lastly, you know, you're consistently coming up with new marketing funnels and you're testing in this area, right? So you need to make sure that you're consistently testing as well. I'm not the best at whiteboards. I don't really know how to like make it nicer. I wish I could have used my iPad, because then I would have wrote with the Apple Pencil. But anyways, back to the juice. So funnels, consistently testing this, making sure, you know, customer support is on point, and your job as the founder and CEO is just off. You have people in place, and by this point, you can just scale without having tension on this. Now, this is for everyone who is kind of, you know, who is in control of their SaaS. Now, me personally, I have control in the front end part, but I like, you know, we have a CTO in place, and we have a CEO in place. I'm like the head of sales and marketing, kind of like operations and stuff, right? Now, in this scenario, like if you're working with other people, you know, and they have like kind of different mindset, like I just want to do sales, like keep closing more and more people, and like kind of forget the other parts of the business, which are so important because, as I said, SaaS is all because you're getting recurring revenue that you can afford that, right? So you need to position this very early on. Focus on this when you have those like 100 clients or 50 clients. We didn't focus on this from 150 clients to like 500 clients. We closed so many deals. So over the past year, we probably closed around like 600 clients, B2B, all in the healthcare space, and we only retained like 300 of them. And as the company is doing fine in terms of revenue, like it grew a lot in terms of revenue, but then at the same time, you know, how much did it lose? It lost a fucking load of money because there was no accountability, there was no customer success, all of these type of things. So learn from our mistakes. We're developing these structures now. We have a system in place, and it's like being tested, beta tested, and it's going to be proven for scaling. Once we actually start scaling, we actually start getting more volume of clients, we kind of like stop the sales because we had to. The sales had to automatically stop because of the mistakes. So hopefully you don't make this mistake. One extra golden nugget is that you're billing with SaaS. Before you release the product, you're in the phase with not many clients, like 50 to 100 clients. If you're using like a payment process, like most people use Stripe, the common knowledge, but somehow some companies might use something else, like Go Cardless or something like that. You need to make sure that your billing softwares are really like entangled with your SaaS, so your developers have like connected every part of it. For example, the people are being charged extra as soon as they add a user. If you have that thing included in your software, if they reach a certain benchmark with the number of features, it increases the billing automatically, so no one has to manually go and change it again and again. And it's very clear on the system to the customer that it's going to increase if you use these points, so that your salespeople can also warn them in advance. So those are the few things with billing that are very important, because right now, for example, we didn't focus on that either, and every time we have to increase prices, kind of like since the tech didn't really integrate it into the system, our CEO has to go and manually increase prices for people, which then people often forget that you were supposed to be charged more. So people start to ask questions. So instead, if it's very clear on the software, it's very important that it stays there, because about 10% of our churn came from these billing issues. It's very important to note and set before you even launch, in my opinion, or when you have those first 10, 20, 30 customers. So that is pretty much our topic for today's video. It's very raw, so hopefully you got some value, but this is real stuff which I ignored, our team ignored, and I know a lot of people in other businesses ignore as well. Focus on customer first. You're gonna have the rest covered automatically. Your sales are gonna come, your marketing ideas are gonna come if you prioritize the customer first. It is the bitter truth. A lot of CEOs might not understand, a lot of business owners cannot understand. And yeah, good luck. Make sure to leave a like and comments if you have any questions, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And as I said, the whole concept of this channel is to learn from my mistakes, and you can